Hello, world of fellow humans. Um, for those of you who don't know, my name is Joan Landis. I've done a few videos over the years, um, and I've been kind of discerning for a while when I would start doing videos again, what they would be about, what I would talk about, and I've been struggling with, taking the leap to actually, start doing these videos on a regular basis, which you may or may not have gleaned from my one video where I was like, I'm ripping off the band-aid, I'm going to start doing videos again. Um, I've been on some level struggling for a very long time in terms of doing what I feel I'm meant to do with my life. Um, since a very early age, I've felt like I was to be an author and a motivational speaker. Well, an author. I always knew I'd write a book, and I've felt it would be some kind of like self-help book, self-introspection book. And 14 years ago, if you look at my channel, I did have a book published called "Oh My God, She's Huge," and it was sort of an autobiographical, me on a pedestal talking about me on a soapbox, not a pedestal, talking about just my thoughts and feelings about life and faith and addiction and my own journey. Basically, it was semi-autobiographical. Or is. I mean, it's still in existence. I am thinking about redoing it simply because it's 14 years later. I've learned a lot more. I've changed a lot, and I would probably word things a little bit differently. Um, but I have been for a very long time wanting to do just a series of videos and share my experience with the world. Um, my major topic of discussion and or platform, if for lack of a better word, is the need for self-esteem and the lack of self-esteem in this world on an individual basis and on a societal basis. Um, the collective, the grander picture. Self-esteem or the lack of self-esteem, or false self-esteem versus genuine self-esteem. It just, in my mind, it drives very, very much on a very subtle level. Um, and, so does a lot of other things. But for me, self esteem has always been my focus and my sole purpose, maybe, my own self esteem and helping others develop their self esteem and kind of studying it. Um, I went to college, I think, to try to figure myself out. And because I knew that I had issues and problems, and I ended up, I have a bachelor's degree in psychology, and I just like to study people. I'm all about the internal, all about self introspection. And sometimes it's a tough journey. Sometimes it takes a long time. But I think there's a lot of reasons out there as to why self esteem is so lacking in this world today. And, it's just a very important subject, near and dear to my heart, and something that I think I have some insight on and I can share with others, and it may make a difference. I've felt for a very long time that it's, my sole purpose to try to share with others and help them. Um, but then there's that other voice in my head that says, who do you think you are? Who wants to hear your story? You're this, you're that. And I tend to put myself down, as we all do. We are our own worst critics. Um, so, I've been struggling for a very long time in terms of battening down the hatches and just doing it and seeing where it goes and what happens and if I do make a difference or not. And so I recently decided that I think the videos that I'm going to do are going to be about my own self-esteem journey, my own journey of faith, things that have happened along the way over the years that have influenced me. I'm not really going to tell you what I think you should do. I'm sort of going to tell you what I have done and what has and hasn't worked for me, what things influenced me, because I really believe that anyone and everyone can develop more self-esteem, can grow their level of self-esteem and self-love and how much they care for themselves. And but I think it needs to be an active pursuit on your part. It doesn't help for me to sit here and say you should do this and you should do that and this is what you should do, because quite frankly, you should do what's right for you. And what's right for me won't be right for you because we're two different people. And I think that's sometimes what happens in this world where, somebody's trying to sell a program or somebody's so sure that their answer is right and they try to cookie cutter everybody into that same, you know, that same solution. And if you just do this, but it's not that's not the case. Like, I think all of those different options and programs are out there because everybody's different. So you have to actively try to figure out what's right for you. And I think, that's part of the self-esteem process in terms of you having to actively research, actively figure it out, actively try things and make mistakes. And it's in terms of whatever it is you want to improve, your health, your well-being, your fitness level, your weight, your education, your relationships with others, whatever it is, you have to be the one to research and figure out what's best for you. Because one, only you can figure that out. And two, it's going to be different for everyone. And we need to recognize that in each other. So, I decided that this video was going to start out with kind of maybe starting from my beginning, the early years of Joan. Excuse me. So I wanted to start out with the song that has been with me in my entire life. I am the youngest of 5. My brothers and sisters, I have 2 brothers and 3 sisters. They were all born within 7.5 years of each other, so they're fairly close in age. And then I came 5 years after my brother. And I used to joke with my mom that I was a mistake, and she'd get so upset. I grew up in a good Catholic family, and, there's no mistakes. We knew what we were doing, and we knew what chances we were taking. And, if God wanted us to have another kid, we would. And I was supposed to be a redheaded boy because there was, I have a redheaded sister, a blonde sister, and a brunette-ish sister. My other sister's strawberry blonde, sort of. And then there was 2 boys. One I think was blondish, and one was, darker hair, whatever. And, so I was supposed to round it out and be a redheaded boy, but that's not what happened. God decided I was going to be Joan. And so I, came into this world, and I had older brothers and sisters, and they were into the 70s rock and that kind of thing. So I was exposed to, the Doors and Moody Blues and all those groups at a very young age. And I like them all, but I have been in love with the Moody Blues since I was young. I love their music. I love the beauty of it. I love the instruments. I love, just the length of their songs, and their lyrics in my mind are just incredible. There's something about the Moody Blues that I've always resonated with. They've always been my favorite band, and my favorite song of all time is from the Moody Blues, and it's called You Can Never Go Home. And the lyrics go like this. I'm going to read them off my phone. I don't know what I'm searching for. I never have opened the door. Tomorrow might find me at last, turning my back on the past. But time will tell of stars that fell 1,000,000 years ago. Memories can never take you back home. Sweet home, you can never go home anymore. All my life, I never really knew me till today. Now my phone's deciding to do something weird. Forgive me, please. And here we go. This is one of those things that happens, and you just want to scream. All right, so as I said, you can never go home anymore. All my life, I never really knew me till today. Now I know why I'm just another step along the way. I lie awake for hours, I'm just waiting for the sun when the journey we are making has begun. Don't deny the feeling that is stealing through your heart. Every happy ending needs to have a start. All my life, I never really knew me till today. Now I know why I'm just another step along the way. Weep no more for treasures you've been searching for in vain, 'cause the truth is gently falling with the rain. High above the forest lie the pastures of the sun, where the two that learned the secret now are one. I don't know what I'm searching for, I never have opened the door. Tomorrow might find me at last, turning my back on the past. And then it goes, but time will tell of stars that fell a million years ago. Memories can never take you back home, sweet home. You can never go home anymore. And those lyrics have always just so resonated with me. And a lot of people spend their time trying to fix the past, or they lament the past, or they live in the past and they can't get over the past. And I think in my brain, those lyrics have just always been important to me. And like I never really analyzed as to why and this kind of thing, but I'm going to play a little bit of the song. I don't know what I'm searching for. I never have opened the door. Tomorrow might find me at last, turning my back on the past. But time will tell on stars that fell a million years ago. Memories can never Anyway, you don't need to see me freaking out to that song, but that's the song. I don't know if that you've heard it, but in these videos, I'm going to talk about things that have influenced me, books that I might have read, songs that I love, and I might play an excerpt or something or read a bit, but I'm not really going to hand you things. You need to. I want this to kind of spark in you. Maybe that would help for me. Maybe that would work. And then as you're searching the things that I've talked about, maybe you'll run into something else that resonates with you. But, your improvement of who you are and what you want out of life and where you hope to go really has to be an active journey on your part. Um, and you have to be able to accept failure and make mistakes. I mean, it's the only way that you're going to improve and figure out what is right for you, because there's so much out there. There's so many authors with different messages. There's so many motivational speakers. There's just different things that may or may not influence you. I might think that's the greatest song in the world, and somebody else may be like, that's the stupidest song I ever heard. So you've got to find out individually what's right for you. And I want to help people begin an active journey as to who they are, what they'd like to change, what they like about themselves, and improving their self-esteem. And when you do that on a individual level, it inherently just affects the whole. I believe we all are part of the same energy. We are all connected. And, when my attitude and self esteem and feeling of self love improves, it inherently makes me feel better about myself, which makes me, reflect that in others. So, basically my journey and my whole experience, I guess, and what I'm hoping to put out there and help people with is improving their own self esteem. Um, and, discussing why that is so important. It sounds kind of basic. It sounds kind of like, well, it doesn't make much sense. But really, it's woven through everything when you think about it. And, there's lots of things to talk about. But I wanted to talk about that song because I think I've been doing a lot of discerning lately and a lot of thinking and a lot of introspection, and I've had some time in the last few months to be able to spend a lot of time with me, um, and really searching what is it that I'm meant to do, and where do I go from here. And it's time for me to start talking about how I feel towards that subject and what I think will make a difference. And that song starts it all because I think I'm ready to turn my back on the past. I've spent a lot of time beating myself up over the things that I did wrong, and having grown up heavy my entire life, my whole self-esteem. I mean, I'm a confident person and I have self-esteem, but the one thing that I've always beat myself up about is that I've been heavy my whole life and I haven't been able to conquer it, and I've sort of felt like, even with the book, that I needed to make the change and lose the weight and, become somebody different before anybody was going to listen to me, or to show people that, it is possible. But, I've realized lately in my old age that that's not the way it works. I am, Joan Landis, heavy or not. And I've had a lot of weight loss success in my life, and I've had a lot of weight gain and failures in my life. And, you know, it is what it is. And if I step into what I feel I'm meant to do and meant to be and what my sole purpose is, I may end up becoming the person I'm meant to be in terms of my weight. It's that whole, you have to accept yourself in the moment in order to move ahead. If you don't accept yourself in the moment and love who you are now, you're not going to feel that you're worthy of making changes, researching what works for you, figuring out where you need to go from here, where you want to go from here, where God wants you to go from here, what your sole purpose is. Um, so, anyway, this video is getting to be a little bit long, but go listen to that song, go analyze it, or, really look at your favorite song. But I think at this point, I'm ready to turn my back on the past. I'm ready to step into doing what it is I'm meant to do and just see where it goes with no expectation. Um, and hopefully I can make a difference for some people. I just want to make a difference for people. I just want to give people hope. I want people to feel good about themselves. I want people to love themselves. And, I think just on a very basic level, that will improve the entire world. So go listen to that song, Moody Blues. You can never go home. Um, Tell me what you think in the comments. If it's a song you've never heard before, if you've heard it a million times, if you hate it, if you like it, it'd be great. Um, just let me know what you think about it. And, basically, like I said, the videos that I'm going to do are just going to be talking about things that have influenced me, things that have made a difference for me, things that haven't worked. And, we'll go from there. So my tagline, when I sign my books, has always been self-love, peace, and joy. So, I'm probably going to end every video with that when I remember, because I'll probably forget sometimes. But, I just want to say, hello, world. I love you all. And, I want the best for this world and for each person in it. Um, and for now, self-love, peace, and joy. And I'll be back again hopefully soon. Sooner than later. Thank you very much. Have a great day, everybody. Love you.